Salut YouTube! Welcome back to the Not Even French YouTube channel, your destination on the interwebs for all things Francophile and New Zealand culture and language as well. I'm going to use a phrase that I heard this week that cracked me up. I hope you're all staying positive but testing negative. Anyways, I'm so excited for today's video because we are doing another round of dirty French sayings. So we're going into the filthiest corners of the French language and I'm sharing with you some of the more colorful language and phrases that the French have come up with. And I love exploring this side of the culture and the language because the French are paradoxical. And on one side, the French language can be so formal and refined. You know, it's that old language of diplomacy and royalty. And then on the other side, the French have a really specific sense of humor. They can get really creative with using the language in ways that make you say, so I want to share some of my favorite phrases with you today and have a little bit of fun here. And if you are anything like me and you are currently learning a second or third or fourth language right now and you really enjoy deepening your knowledge on this and it's one of your goals to really become fluent and conversational and to be able to have that mastery of the language, then I definitely recommend Lingoda, who I learned French with. Obviously I lived in France for 6 years, but given that I studied in English and always worked in English and was in international environments, it was really the rocket fuel to my French language learning journey. And you don't necessarily have to be learning French either. They've also got German and Spanish and English and business English too. And I think what works really well with Lingoda is that it's an online language school. So you've got classes 24/7 to fit into your schedule at a time online that suits you. So they're 60-minute classes via Zoom. And you can either have them in very small groups, so there's a maximum of 5 in the group, so they're super intimate, or you can get private lessons as well. And the quality is really high because all of the teachers are qualified to teach their language as a subject, right? It's not just some randoms, and they're all native speakers, of course, as well. And it also allows you to gamify the experience and have a lot of fun with it. If you've been a subscriber to my channel for a while, you know that lots of my subscribers have used Lingoda. Their whole philosophy is discipline and habit, right? It's literally like training for a marathon. You've got to put in the effort every single day to build up your fitness over time and flex those muscles, just like learning a language. So there are a couple of main ways to take your language learning to the next level with Lingoda. The first is just a monthly open subscription. It's very flexible. You can cancel or change at any time. And otherwise you can commit to a marathon, which is either a 3, 6 or 12-month challenge. And this is where you can get up to 400 euros cash back as well. And it works out to be something ridiculous, like from 6 euros per class. It's absolutely incredible. And thankfully, because I'm partnered with Lingoda, I can bring you an epic discount of 30% off your course. So definitely click the link below, check it out, look at the marathon product, look at the monthly subscription. You can even try a 7-day free trial if you like and apply the promo code at the end of your trial if you decide to continue on and use that 30% off as well. So definitely make sure to use RosieOct30 so that you don't miss out on your savings and enjoy leveling up that language of yours. Alrighty, the first expression isn't too filthy. It's not as shock factor as some of the other ones are, and it's very, very common. But this expression is avoir le cul bordé de nouilles. Now this is pretty gross because it means having your ass full of noodles. But in French, it means someone got very lucky. And I don't know where the association is from between having an ass stuffed with noodles and having good luck, but that's a logical connection that was made at some point in time. I'm not here to judge. So to put this into a sentence, you could be like, il a encore gagné. Il a vraiment le cul bordé de nouilles. So, he won again. He's so lucky. He really has his ass full of noodles. Next up, and you will start to notice a common theme that the French are obsessed with cul, with ass. It's in so many expressions, cul and chier as well, so shit. So that they've definitely got some sort of ass fascination when it comes to, I don't know, insults and gross sayings. But this saying is, il n'y a pas à tortiller du cul. And tortiller means turn or twist. So it's kind of like saying there's no need to twist the ass. and it means there's no other way. Il n'y a pas à tortiller du cou, c'est la seule solution. No need to twist the ass, it's the only solution. Next up, I've got some really dirty ways of saying that you need to go number 2 in the bathroom, and the list for this was monstrous. Like, I did a video on dirty French sayings, so definitely go and check that out. That's part 1. And these are some of the suggestions that people were sending through. I've just picked my 3 favorites, but there are so many. But these are probably the most hilarious, / this one's pretty common. The first is couler en bronze. Now, couler means to drop or melt, and en bronze as in a piece of bronze, like a bronze statue kind of thing. So couler en bronze, drop a bronze. You also have this one which cracks me up because Airbus is a French company, Airbus, and it's j'ai l'Airbus en bout de piste. Oh my gosh. Which means I have the Airbus at the end of the runway, like we're right here. And then this one, Neil said that he had never heard of it before, but several people liked it in the comments, so I think it's legit. So you know Kinder Surprise? This one says, j'ai le Kinder qui dit surprise. So I have the Kinder that says surprise. Next up, we have this saying where there's absolutely no equivalent in English, which is il or elle, so he or she, a été fini à la pisse. And this is a really bad insult, which means that the parents didn't do everything right during the conception of the baby, because it means that, you know, the final droplets of sperm essentially coming out were piss, were urine. I mean, how harsh is that as an insult? Il est pas bien celui-là, il a été fini à la pisse. Next up, we have a saying that you can use when there's clearly some kind of problem, but the cause of that problem has not yet been identified. And for this, you could say, il y a une couille dans le potage, which in English could be translated to, there is a testicle in the soup. So there's a testicle in the soup, there's clearly a problem, but we don't know the cause of it. We don't know how or why this testicle is here. Next up, you have a few sayings for the situation where you have a man who wanted to sleep with a woman, but it didn't end up happening for whatever reason. We've got an awful saying for this as well in English, which is blue balls. But in French, we would say, il dort sur la béquille. And la béquille is the crutch. So, you know, if you twist your ankle or hurt your foot or whatever, you go on crutches, it's he's sleeping on the crutch. And then saying the exact same thing, but in a slightly different way, you could say, il peut se la mettre derrière l'oreille. So he could put it behind his ear. Next up, we have an amazing insult, which you could say about someone who's been really pretentious, which is péter plus haut que son cul. So péter is to fart, plus haut que, higher than, son cul, his or her ass. So to fart higher than one's ass, which is, I guess, trying to achieve something that's not capable, right? You're here, your ass is here, and you're trying to be above that. You're trying to fart above that. So it's obviously quite a vulgar way to say that someone thinks that they're a little bit more special or worth a little bit more than they are, right? Or maybe they're being a bit pretentious, a bit sassy. The next French expression that is a little bit dirty, a little bit saucy, is en chier une pendule, and this means to shit a clock. I guess it's the equivalent to the English shit a brick. And it means when someone is getting worked up or annoyed about quite a minor inconvenience, right? So if someone's getting a bit angry, frustrated, annoyed by a minor inconvenience, you could say to them, tu vas pas nous en chier une pendule. You're not gonna shit a clock with us. Next up, for a saying that's like, whoa, I'm really surprised, like almost in disbelief, like, whoa, it's hard to believe. You could say, ça m'a trou le cul. Now, trou means hole or vent. So it's like, that puts a hole in my ass. Next up, we have a saying, if you're incredibly upset about something and you are about to tear the place down, you could say, ça va chier des boules, which means it's gonna shit bubbles. Which doesn't really seem that threatening when you say it like that. Next up, we have quite a dirty, quite a filthy way of telling someone to close their mouth. Now, this can be literally because they have bad breath, so you could be commenting on it, or what they're saying is so obnoxious it stinks. And you could say ferme ta gueule, ça fait courant d'air avec les chiottes. So ferme ta gueule, shut your face, shut your mouth. Gueule is like muzzle, like the mouth of an animal. Ferme ta gueule, ça fait courant d'air, so it's making a current of air avec les chiottes, with the toilets. Chiotte is slang for toilets, toilette. Shut your mouth, it's making air currents with the toilets. All right, the next two are extremely vulgar. So if you have little ears around and you haven't already, put your headphones on. This very disturbing way of saying to get taken advantage of, se faire encouler à sec, which means to get your ass rammed, to get sodomized without lubricant. So it's very dry. That is incredibly vulgar, and it's not something that I want you to use, but I want you to know that it exists in case it is used around you. Another one of my subscribers left this comment, which is a slang way of saying to masturbate for a man. I thought it was very funny in a very gross and dark way, but probably quite shocking and offensive if this is your language. But because I'm able to take a little bit of distance from French, I was, you know, able to be like, oh, and not, oh. But they said a slang way to say to masturbate is visiter le veuve poignet. And poignet is capitalized P as if it's a name. Le veuve poignet. So it's saying to visit widow poignet. But poignet actually means wrist. So it's to visit the widowed wrist is to masturbate. So bad. And then this next saying is a very vulgar way to say you can't have it all. You can't have everything. And it's on peut pas avoir le beurre, l'argent du beurre et le cul de la crémière. And this means so we can't have the butter and the money that the butter makes and the ass of the person who's selling us the butter or dealing with the butter. It's a very vulgar equivalent of you can't have your cake and eat it too. Alright, and finishing up on some lighter notes, there are a couple more expressions that aren't so shocking. We have se sortir les doigts du cul, again, cul, so take your fingers out of your ass. And we actually have that exact equivalent in English as well. Like take your finger out of your ass, let's get going, like stop mucking around. So you could say like, ok, maintenant on se met à ranger avant qu'ils arrivent et on se sort les doigts du cul. So okay, we're gonna tidy up now before they arrive and we're gonna take your fingers out of your ass. And this one is actually kind of dirty, but also just kind of cute. I don't know, I like it for some reason. It's a saying that you can use if you're very nervous, very scared, very stressed. You could say, j'ai les fesses qui font bravo. So j'ai les fesses, I have the ass cheeks, qui font bravo, who are saying like, bravo! So your ass cheeks, ah! And so obviously that's a less sophisticated way of saying it than, oh, je suis nerveuse. But it's not outrageous, it's not super dirty or vulgar either. As always, I hope that you have enjoyed this foray into the French language. Let me know your favorite ones down below. Let me know if you know of any other equally filthy, dirty, shock factor French sayings. The French language is rich, it is diverse, and it has all sorts of surprises that can hit you at any moment in time. I would love to hear about anything fun that you have used or learned in French recently. And otherwise, until next week's episode on the Not Even French YouTube channel, stay well and I will see you in the next video. Bisous and à bientôt!